Africa's military landscape is changing faster than the world realizes. In 2025, the continent is no longer defined by outdated stereotypes, but by raw strength, strategic ambition, and national survival. Today, we're rediving into a groundbreaking analysis of Africa. Strongest military powers are rankings shaped not only by numbers, but by history, economic pressure, technology, leadership, and the constant battle for stability. Behind every army, there is a story, and behind every story, there is a reason a nation chooses to either stand tall or fall apart. Before we begin, I want you to know that everything you hear is built on real research and verified data, combined with deep geopolitical context, so you can understand the true scale of African power the way experts see it. If you're watching this right now, it means you're the kind of intelligent viewer who wants to learn how the world really works. So let's start with Egypt, the heavyweight that dominates headlines because of its massive manpower, heavily armed ground forces, and decades of military investment. But what most people don't understand is that Egypt's strength comes from fear. This is a country surrounded by regional tensions on almost every border, forcing its military to operate like a shield that never goes down. With one of the largest tank fleets on the African continent and a rapidly expanding air force, Egypt doesn't rely on flashy power projections, but on overwhelming force. Designed to discourage anyone from even thinking about crossing the line, and while critics say Egypt's military is too large or too expensive, supporters argue that it's the price of survival in a region where hesitation can cost a nation its future. Right behind Egypt stands Algeria, a silent fortress built on discipline, secrecy, and one of the biggest defense budgets in Africa. Algeria doesn't show off and doesn't brag. Instead, it invests heavily in artillery, air defense systems, armored divisions, and naval strength as a form of national insurance. Its quiet approach is exactly why analysts consider Algeria one of the most underrated military powers in the global south. Its strategy isn't about projecting influence, but about building a wall so strong that no threat can break through it. When you look at its mountains, its coastline, and its vast land borders, you understand why Algeria cannot afford weakness. Every inch of that territory demands constant protection. Then we move to Nigeria, not a military that grew in classrooms or training simulations, but one that grew on real battlefields where soldiers fight insurgencies, criminal networks, and extremist threats almost every day. This non-stop conflict has turned Nigeria into one of the most experienced armies in Africa, creating commanders who learn strategy not from textbooks, but from fire. And while Nigeria struggles with outdated equipment and logistical gaps, its real strength is resilience, a mindset built on the idea that retreat is not an option. Because every fight on Nigerian soil is a fight for the nation's future. Next, we examine South Africa, a military that doesn't chase size but mastery. It relies on advanced engineering, domestic weapon production, cutting-edge technology, and elite specialized units that operate more like precision tools than blunt instruments. While its budget is smaller compared to Egypt or Algeria, South Africa compensates through intelligence, innovation, and strategic balance, making it Africa's most technologically sophisticated defense force. That brings us to Ethiopia, a nation whose power is shaped not by luxury, but by necessity, with one of the largest manpower pools on the continent and a history that taught the world that Ethiopia is impossible to conquer. This strength is not just physical, but psychological. Ethiopia's mountainous terrain creates natural soldiers who understand endurance, strategy, and mobility better than outsiders imagine. Though Ethiopia lacks modern equipment, its advantage is a military culture built over generations of conflict and national pride. This combination makes Ethiopia a unique force that emphasizes human skill over hardware. Then we shift to Morocco, a kingdom that uses strategy the way a chess master uses the board. Blending modern air power with carefully planned alliances, advanced training, and strong maritime defense, Morocco's military is built on the philosophy that preparation prevents danger. So it invests in high-performance aircraft, modern armored vehicles, and well-coordinated intelligence systems that allow it to respond to threats quickly and decisively. Next comes Angola, a country that was once defined by civil war but is now defined by disciplined rebuilding. It is slowly modernizing its armed forces, strengthening its air units, and reforming its ground divisions to create long-term stability. Angola understands that a strong military is not built overnight. but through careful investment, training, and patience. Then we look at the Democratic Republic of Congo, the sleeping giant of African nation with enormous population, rich territory, and the potential to build one of the strongest armies in the region if its leadership, logistics, and development systems align. But right now, Congo's power is trapped behind political instability, outdated equipment, and fragmented command structures, meaning the potential is huge but unrealized. Finally, we consider Sudan and Libya, two countries filled with manpower and hardware, but weakened by internal division. Soldiers who should be defending the nation end up pulled into political struggle, proving that no amount of equipment can compensate for a lack of unity. When we put all these countries together, we learn one powerful truth. Military strength in Africa isn't about who has the most tanks or who spends the most money, but about who can stay stable, disciplined, united, and prepared in a world where threats evolve every single day. Every army on this list tells a different story, from Egypt's overwhelming presence to Algeria's silent discipline, to Nigeria's battlefield experience, to South Africa's technological edge, to Ethiopia's human endurance, to Morocco's strategic balance, to Angola's patient rebuilding, to Congo's unrealized potential, to Sudan and Libya's internal struggles. The real question is, which of these forces will rise even higher in the next decade, as Africa continues to grow economically, politically, and militarily? Before we end, I want to let you know that in my next videos, I'll be doing a full Q&A session where I answer your geopolitical questions directly. So make sure you drop your best question in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep analysis, then subscribe right now, because the next episode will take you even deeper into the world of African power, strategy, and global transformation.